We all have heard of Tiger Woods at one point or another, whether we watch golf or not. The guy's a legend. That's exactly why it's no surprise that people are willing to pay huge amounts of money to buy any memorabilia from his collection. The stuff fetches millions of dollars. Millions. Let's get into this and some more quirky sports memorabilia that's sold for an insanely high price. First up, let's look at the latest of Tiger Woods' possessions from his journey in golf that racked up thousands. Woods is considered one of the greatest athletes of all time, which isn't really a surprise. He was the world #1 in golf for 280 weeks, which is an insane record. That's exactly why everything he touches turns to gold. Not literally, of course, but it makes sense that people are willing to pay so much money for his possessions. A man called Scott Mohr from Wisconsin, who was the marshal chairman at the Milwaukee Open in 1996, made a seemingly random decision after the match ended, and he didn't put too much thought into it. Now, what was this random decision, you might be wondering? Well, as the chairman, Mohr was there till the end, even after the match had ended. As he was driving out of Brown Deer Park Golf Course, he noticed something by the clubhouse. It was the handwritten scoreboard for the Open. Mohr thought it could be an interesting keepsake for him, and he took the section of the scoreboard that had Woods' name and score on it. He kept it as a piece of decoration in his basement. Who knew that a mere memento that he took to remember the Open would someday be worth thousands of dollars? Of course, this didn't happen overnight and took 25 years because Woods just kept proving himself and his worth in the world of golf and sport. When he realized this could be worth something, Mohr contacted Heritage Auctions and he was looking to sell it. Now it's getting auctioned. Somebody's buying it for more than $65,000. Who in the world would be willing? The answer to this question is many people. For Scott Mohr, contacting Heritage Auctions was a great decision. He did this because he heard that a ticket from that same golf event was being auctioned for more than $37,000. He saw the opportunity and he took it. At first, he thought the piece of the scoreboard would only get him about $16,000, but he couldn't be more wrong. This was Scott's most prized memento from the match, and it looks like he was hoping for it to sell for more. When he went to bed after putting it up for auction, he thought he'd only get the $16K, but he was in luck because something known as extended bidding happened. When Scott and his wife checked the website the next day, they woke up to a big surprise. Someone was willing to pay $69,000 for this piece of thick stock paper. I mean, the handwriting is nice, but is it really worth that much? It sure looks like it. We can't help but wonder who would pay that much. Perhaps golfers like Richard Zokol to prove that once they beat the Tiger Woods. But this doesn't matter though, because Scott's getting a lot of money out of it, as well as Heritage Auctions. It's a win-win situation. Next, let's get into the history of this paper and Tiger Woods' professional debut. The star golfer has played on many tours and has more than 100 professional wins under his belt. However, there's one game that a lot of Woods' longtime fans aren't going to forget no matter what, and that's his PGA Tour debut. Woods was playing at the Milwaukee Open just a few days after he had won his third U.S. amateur title in the world. To say that people were highly anticipating his performance would just be an understatement. They had a few expectations for him, and Tiger Woods went above and beyond them. Although he finished only T60 in a week, Woods left everyone in awe with a hole-in-one that was historic, to say the least. He's not a legend for no reason, and he's been proving that since day one. That's exactly why people can just cash in a 25-year-old piece of paper with just his name on it. When you think about it, it's actually nuts. Plus, his performance wasn't insanely outstanding either. Once Woods said, "Hello world," back in 1996, he made sure they wouldn't forget it, and this scoreboard selling for thousands is definitely proof of that. We can say that one thing's for sure, it's not an ordinary piece of paper at all. Finally, it's not a surprise people want to pay that much. It looks like people have a lot of money to spend on quirky sports mementos, and that's true. You might actually be surprised when you find out how many people are interested in stuff like this. It's an expensive hobby. There's no denying it. But as insane as it sounds, people have that kind of money. We ordinary people can only dream. Would you believe it if we told you that that's not even near the most expensive Tiger Woods related sport sports memorabilia, like not even a minuscule fraction of the cost, Tiger Woods' collectibles are incredibly sought after. And now, since his career is slowing down, people just want to get their hands on whatever they can. Once, a set of irons that Woods was playing with in his 2000 season, which was one for the books, sold for millions, not thousands, not 100,000, not 1 million, but multiple millions. That's absolutely insane. Someone paid $5.15 million to buy them, which set the record for the highest amount of money that golf memorabilia sold for. There's no other player other than Woods whose clubs would sell for that much. He's definitely a legend through and through. Now let's get into some other stuff, like how people are willing to pay so much for sports memorabilia. First up, Mickey Mantle's 1952 baseball card. Mickey Mantle is one of the greatest baseball players of all time. Even though we can expect baseball cards and other memorabilia of his to sell for a lot of money, it was a huge shock that Mantle's 1952 card sold for a whopping $12.6 million. The card was so expensive because of many reasons, one of the main ones being that it's an exceptionally flawless condition. A 70-year-old baseball card that looks new. That sounds impossible. On top of that, the card is extremely rare, and from his rookie season, plus the history of the card is pretty well documented. We know who had their hands on it first and whose hands it's been in and is right now. There's no better offer. Even though some might say the card is priceless, it looks like Alan Rosen didn't think so. His father salvaged the card from underwater. That's a long story for another time, but he decided to put it up for auction at $9.3 million in May. The card was finally sold a few days ago for over $12 million. That's the current world record for the highest amount paid for any sports memorabilia ever. Next, Jackie Robinson's All-Star Game bat. It looks like baseball memorabilia is going for quite a lot, considering that Robinson's bat was sold for $1.08 million just this year. It wasn't an ordinary bat though. Robinson used it in the 1949 All-Star Game and was chosen as a part of a pair. Especially by Jackie himself, it was very lightly used, but it's still extremely valuable because of obvious reasons. The 1949 All-Star Game was played in Brooklyn, and Jackie was truly on fire that day. That's not the only reason it was sold for so much though. The detailing on the front and the back of the bat are just so intricate, and because it was chosen by the man himself, it only increases the bat's volume. It's also purely authentic, and Robinson's widow confirmed it. That's exactly why it makes sense to pay over $1 million for one baseball bat. Finally, Michael Jordan's rookie sneakers also sold for over $1 million. As you can probably tell by now, paying $1 million is like paying peanuts for most sports memorabilia collectors. One of these people paid $1.47 million for Michael Jordan's rookie season shoes. The shoes were sold at auction by Sotheby in Las Vegas. Jordan wore the Nike Airships when he was playing his first season with the Chicago Bulls. These are the shoes that Jordan wore before he got his own line at Nike, and so they're definitely worth the $1 million. Michael gave the shoes to the ball boy of the Nuggets. They're a size 13 and in pretty good condition right now. Though we doubt that whoever bought them is going to wear them, they should make for a pretty good decoration around the house. That's a wrap for this video. Do you think these quirky Tiger Woods memorabilia is worth thousands of dollars? What other prices surprised you the most from other memorabilia? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.